Hello, everybody, and welcome to Jason Mackey's First 10, a quick hit podcast, get you ready for the day. A lot to get to. I guess it's the MLB trade deadline edition. The next morning, we'll look at the Pirates moving forward. A lot of talk there. Plus, the Steelers put the pads on. We'll see if we can get to a couple topics in that realm. Before we do any of that, though, I want to remind you that we're sponsored by the North Shore Tavern. You don't have to be a baseball fan to love it there. The interior is wall-to-wall Pirates, their appetizers, entrees, cocktails, and, of course, steak and seafood on a sizzling lava stone. Open every day. The North Shore Tavern across from PNC Park is Pittsburgh's home for steak on a stone. So, yeah, busy day. Busy day for the Buccos. I expected them to do something, as I've said on here. I expected them to get an outfielder, which they did. And they took things a step further. It was one of the busiest days I have seen on this beat. Obviously not on the beat anymore, but observing and still sort of around in some capacities. And it was pretty darn nuts. So the big ad, in my opinion, Bryan De La Cruz from the Marlins got him for infielder Garrett Forrester and Jung Chuck Shim, as well as Isiah Kiner-Falefa, and cash considerations from the Blue Jays for Charles McAdoo. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Talked about this. It was a fun live stream with Adam Bittner, Andrew Destin, and Paul Zeiss. We were learning about this stuff live. We got on there and they had made no moves. And frankly, there was a little bit of consternation, I'm sure, just because of all the lead up with the Pirates. Is Ben Cherington going to do anything? Well, sure enough, as soon as we start talking about Bryan De La Cruz, I don't know. Maybe Ben's ears started to burn. I'm not sure, but they got him. And I think it's a really, really smart move. I do. They did not give up a lot to get him at all. Totally fine with the price paid. It's somebody who's going to slot right into the middle of their lineup. We'll see if he hits fourth, fifth, sixth, something like that. But, you know, in researching this deal, what the Pirates have gotten from their outfielders is even worse than I originally anticipated. At 227, 300, 352 slash line, and 83 WRC plus. Again, remember, for that 100 is league average. So they are extremely below league average at this point. And I mean, we could kind of discuss the Pirates' 6-2 victory in Houston. Did it finish 6-2? Yes, it did. Have my scorebook right there. And I am terrible with remembering the final scores of things. But I think the Pirates outfield now is sort of set up to be an interesting place. We'll see what happens with De La Cruz, but he's hit 18 home runs. Something not a lot of people on the Pirates can say. 51 RBIs. Last year drove in 78. The guy has done the job in the middle of the lineup for Miami. Has a 707 OPS. Career-wise, he's actually a little bit better than that. Has hit 258, I believe the OPS career-wise. I have it here somewhere, but it's 724, I want to say. Yeah, 724 career OPS. Anyway, if you look at what Michael A. Taylor has done the past two nights, obviously Brian Reynolds is going to be in that other spot. Do you run with Michael A. Taylor? I think I do. And I want the defense because Bryan De La Cruz in a corner, probably right field, I think can use it. Can use the defensive help. If that's your outfield, I'm kind of okay with it. And I'm kind of curious to see what happens. I don't necessarily see a path forward with G1 Bay at this point, not particularly worried about it. Probably the same with Joshua Palacios. Jack Sawinski needs to go to AAA, and that's fine. What he's got going on there, work through it. Maybe we'll see you later. I'm not sure. But I like the power potential that De La Cruz brings. As far as Kiner-Falefa, boy, did I not have that on the bingo card. And I'm sure none of you did either. If they would have just addressed the offense with a signing in the outfield or a trade in the outfield, would have been totally fine with it. That said, they wind up with Isiah Kiner-Falefa. Toronto is paying a lot of his salary, maybe I think all but the major league minimum of his salary. And here comes a player having a career offensive year with a ridiculous amount of versatility. He's having a really, really good season, by the way, hitting 292, 7 homers, 33 ribs in 82 games, 758 OPS with Toronto. He's had a knee injury, but he's supposed to come back as soon as Friday, which Ben Cherington said, quote, very soon. They expect Kiner-Falefa to be back in games. We're talking about somebody who's played short, third, catcher, second, center field, left field, right field. He's done it all. I've always admired his playing style. You gave up Charles McAdoo to get him, which I don't love, but given what Kiner-Falefa can be for the Pirates, absolutely. Absolutely. I make that trade 100 times out of 100. They have a weak spot with Nick Gonzalez. Well, they addressed it in a pretty big way. I like that. It's hard to argue with that result, and especially with what he's done offensively. All right, there's still plenty more to get to. I want to talk about some more trades, how it positions the Pirates moving forward, and a little bit about the Steelers. We'll see, but first, a message from the Bradenton Area Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Embrace the laid-back charm of island life while sinking your toes in the sand and discovering real, authentic Florida in the Bradenton area. Unspoiled beauty and pristine beaches, a vibrant waterfront downtown energized by local arts and culture, fresh Floridian cuisine with a flourish of rich history, and friendly locals ready to welcome you to this preserved paradise on Florida's Gulf Coast. Plan your visit today at BradentonGulfIslands.com.
Welcome back to First 10. Jason Mackey here. A couple more minutes with you, talking a little Pirates trade and then some Steelers. Again, a busy day roster move-wise. Carmen Mlodzinski goes on the 15-day IL with the right shoulder strain. The Pirates selected the contract of right-handed pitcher Jake Woodford. More on him in a second. Jalen Beeks is now on the active roster. Pirates acquired him the other night. Martin Perez traded along with cash considerations to the Padres in exchange for a Dominican pitcher, Ronaldez Jimenez. They also acquired Josh Walker, a lefty from the Mets, in exchange for Nicholas Carino. So anyway, that's not even all of them. I might be leaving some out. Outfielder Billy Cook for Patrick Riley was the last one I had on my list of roster moves. But in any case, some of what the Pirates did, two trends that I think are important to note. The lefty help in the bullpen, whether it's Walker, whether it's Beeks. The Pirates, I think, are better positioned now to use a lefty to attack earlier in games, which it kind of worked out like that last season with Ryan Baraki. They liked that situation. I think they're going to be able to get Jalen Beeks. He's probably going to be first in that pecking order as far as matching up left on left. He's been very good left on left this season and allows you to keep Aroldis Chapman for later in games as well. Martin Perez, quality dude, really enjoyed covering him. Don't argue at all with the trade. Probably what was left unsaid or Ben Cherington couldn't say, you've got to make some money work. You're paying him $8 million. It doesn't make any sense to pay $8 million, the prorated portion of $8 million for a lefty reliever, not giving him a lot of opportunity. So they sent him and some cash to the Padres for a young lottery ticket. Who knows what happens with the young man? I'll be very curious to see what happens with Jake Woodford too. I was texting with one Andrew Filipponi during this one, and we were going back and forth about Jake Woodford of all people. But I think the Pirates can maybe make something out of this. I'll be curious to see. They do a pretty good job finding matchups for guys, putting them in a position to succeed, and we'll see if they're able to take Woodford and really make something good out of him. Don't need a lot. You can open, or if he starts, maybe just a controlled outing depending on matchups. They're going to need to be cognizant of pitching, though, right? You're going to go Skeens, Keller, get Jones back before too long. Bailey Falter was excellent tonight, by the way. I don't have to tell you that, but 66 pitches, 47 strikes, 5 1/3, 6 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, blah, blah, blah. He was very good. Like to see that. Luis Ortiz, Jared Jones is going to be back in a couple weeks. Marco Gonzalez, again, strength of the team, some rotation. Hard to dislike that. All right, I want to make sure I leave myself a little bit of time anyway for Steelers. Seemed like some cool stuff happening there. I was a little bit broken up about not being able to go out for the first day in pads and backs on backers and all that stuff, but it was the smarter play to stay here and do work around the MLB trade deadline. Ended up writing about some trades that didn't work out so well. You probably read that from earlier in the morning, but really excited to see some of the progress being made. Reading Ray and Jerry's coverage, Troy Fautanu and Zach Frazier seems like they certainly held their own in some live drills. George Pickens, a one-handed grab in 7 shots. Good to see Russell Wilson back as well. Had 2 reps in 11-on-11 action, went 8 for 8 in 7-on-7 passing drills. Was not at all worried about Russell Wilson. I I am eager to see Jalen Warren in the backs on backers drill. I thought it was interesting that Najee Harris took part too, had several reps with the Landon Roberts, and very much a part of things. And it's only going to pick up from there. The intensity is only going to increase as well. Excited. I think Pitt Media Day for me today, Wednesday, and then tomorrow, going to head out to Steelers for some contact, and then a weekend series, Pirates, Angels. Love my job. Can't wait. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. You can get all of these videos and podcasts from me and other Post-Gazette writers and columnists. I'll be back here same time, same place. Talk to you on First 10. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.